You're watching the Community MMA.
What up? This is your boy Chris Cross checking in. Yes, this is the Community MMA. We're back, man. We're back on Facebook after a 3-year hiatus. So we got to get into the do list today. And we got to start from scratch because we got a lot of listeners that probably don't watch UFC just yet. There's always people you can grab and get them into the sport. It's, there's football, of course. So it's one of, not the necessarily, but one of the greatest sports on earth right now, and it's global. So stick around for the do list. We're going to break down the top 10. These are my favorite fighters. Who are your favorite fighters? Right? That's what the do list is. So stay tuned. We're getting into that one. But first and foremost, man, Frank came up to me today. He says, man, my woman's upset with me, man. I said, why? He said, I was watching football all weekend, so she's upset. Boy, and that's a rough situation. Because, yeah, football is back. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, it's football season. And if you're a woman, you know because your man's probably watching the games. And they got their teams. There's college football Saturday and NFL Sunday, and it's like it's an all weekend affair. And, he says, what do? I said, not much advice I can give you. Because we're creatures of habit. Just own up to your faults and say, hey, thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for putting up with me. It's as simple as that. Because there's not much else you can say or do. So just recognize your faults and let your woman know you're thankful that she deals with you during the season. And it's an arduous task, ladies. It's tough. Because for men, football is, and fighting too. This is an MMA channel. We like to watch UFC. And that's longer. That's longer than a football game. It's like 2 or 3 football games. It's crazy. But men, when it comes to sports, it's an all-day affair. It's not just the game from 1 to 4 or 4 to 7 or whenever the NFL game is on Sundays. You got to get your jersey ready. You got to wash it and you got to dry it. And you got to make it look right and you get your chain on and, you get all the game gear on. You're ready to go. You got to barbecue a little bit. Got to have your drinks all set up so you don't have to move once the game starts, right? You can't miss a play. Men get crazy. And for women, it could go a couple different ways. For one, you could be like, dang, football's back. My man's not going to pay attention to me for the next 4 months. Or you could be like, yes, football's back. My man is going to leave me alone for the next 4 months. He's going to be off my back for the next 4 months. It just depends on how you look at it. It could go either way. You get women on both sides of the aisle. But it is tough to deal with men. How do you deal with your man during football season? Because I don't know if this is the right word, right? Bipolar. Like, if our team wins, we're going to be happy as heck. We're going to be flying high. Like, if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan right now and you won 40-0 last week, you think you're already headed to the Super Bowl? Your head popped out like a balloon. Hopefully it don't get popped, but, you're feeling good. You're walking around. You're feeling great for a week. But if your team loses, you're going to be in a sour mood all week long. And then your woman's got to deal with you. It's crazy. So how do you deal with your man during football season? It's not an easy task, ladies. It's not an easy task. But there are ways to be able to deal with them during football season. You have to understand the game. You got to flip the script, as they would say. And take advantage of the fact that your man is locked in, right? Everything around him is out the window right now because the game is on. And ladies, here's all you got to do. It's going to happen in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. It might be sooner. You just got to wait for a touchdown or interception or a fumble or just one big play. And it don't take long in football. It's going to happen pretty quickly, one way or the other. And your man's going to start shouting. He might even be cursing at the TVs, yelling, you missed that block. That shouldn't be a flag, ref. Touchdown, whatever it may be. And at that point, he's totally locked in. He's bought into the game now. It's over. And you can get away with anything at this point. You can get away with anything. So big play happens, your man's into the game, and you walk up and you just say something like, hey, I got to go shopping. I got to run to the store. And the last thing your man's going to want to do is go to the store. The game is on, right? So he's, okay, babe, okay, have fun. Buy whatever you want, get what you need. Oh, man, you missed that block, man. Oh, flag, come on, ref. Put your glasses on, ref, you missed it. Back into the game. You only got a 2-second attention span. And then the next thing you say is, yeah, I'm going to have to spend $1,000 at the store. Oh, okay, babe, okay, no problem. Come on, ref, man. Y'all get it together, man. Whatever, touchdown, they're back into the game, they're zoned in. And boom, you're off to the store and you got permission to spend $1,000. And your man is so locked into the game. And men are like, Chris, shut up, Chris. Because I'm not lying. And you go to the store and you spend the money, whatever, you got permission. Not that you need permission. If you want to go spend the money, you can go spend the money. Listen, it is what it is. But at least you made him aware. So it's not permission, but you made him aware that, hey, I'm going to the store and I might have to drop $1,000. And because the game is on and he's so locked in, he's like waving you on, like, okay, have a good time, have a good time, do what you got to do. Yeah. It's not going to be till hours later, right? The game is over. They won or lost. The heartbeat starts coming down. The blood pressure starts to drop. We feel like we've been through a fight. And then that's when we start asking questions. Where'd you go earlier? Oh, you went to this, now we're paying attention because the game is off, right? We missed everything. You got away with whatever. That's just one example, but you got away with what you got away with. And now your man's going to start asking questions. What'd you get at the store? You got a purse? What? A new watch? You bought $400 worth of food? What? You spent $1,000? And all you got to do, women, is be like, yeah, I told you. You was watching the game. I told you I was going to the store. I had to spend it. And men are going to be at a disadvantage. Be like, what? I don't remember. I don't remember that. What are you talking about? But at the same time, you made him aware of what was about to transpire. So you're good. You're in the clear. That's how you deal with your man during football season. You got to take advantage of what you can get away with in those situations. If he's not going to show you much attention, I watch UFC, so that's all day Saturday. And my woman she knows in the morning we're running to the store. We do whatever we got to do. I'm in a great mood because UFC's coming on. There's going to be like 12 to 15 fights. And, she can say whatever. I got to get this purse. I got to get this perfume. Yeah, get it. Yeah. Because I know that for the next 8 hours, I'm probably going to be locked in on the UFC or football, or it's all, sport. It's like a video games for kids, right? Like totally sold. I'm bought into what's going on in front of me, the games and everything. Ladies, you can get away with anything you want. And that is how you deal with your man during football season. Yeah. That's how you deal with him. You just keep it real and you let him know what you're about to do. And there's probably going to be no arguments because he don't have time to disengage from the game for 1 second because he's going to miss something. And we're creatures of habit, so we're focused in, we're locked in, and that's it. And men, all you got to do is be appreciative of the fact that they have to deal with you during the football season. Because when I asked my friend, I said, are you not going to watch the game? He said, oh, no, I'm watching my team. Whatever you have it. You're not going to change. So you just have to appreciate the fact that they deal with you for the entire season. Some of you ladies might get lucky. We might be out in game 8, week 8. It might be 1-7 or 3-5 or something, and the season's probably over. But for a lot of you, it's going to be all season because even if your man likes college football or NFL, there's a chance that one of his teams, hopefully, not if you're me, if it had been a rough couple years, but most likely one of those teams are going to be good and they're going to be locked in for 4 months. So you got to understand how to play the game and how to deal with your man during football season, or realize you can get away with a lot more when the game is on. Once that game starts, that's when you can get away with things. Not bad things, good things. Like going to the store and spending $1,000. We'll come to later and start asking questions, but by then it's too late. The money's gone. You can't change nothing. It is what it is. At that point, it is what it is. So let's keep it moving. So the dude list. For all the new listeners, don't really follow UFC right now. UFC is obviously professional fighting. Two guys get locked in a cage and they go at it. And you got like 3 women's divisions with belts, and you got maybe 4, and you got like 8, 9 divisions on the men's side. So there's 8 or 9 belts there. There's multiple divisions happening on any given night, multiple weight classes, and there's rankings in those weight classes, and everyone knows probably the top 10 if you're a diehard fan. And it's a never-ending story. It's drama-filled. But a few years ago, when I started getting into MMA and the UFC, someone said to me, "Who are your favorite fighters?" And it really got me thinking. I mean, I knew them, but I never had a list. And that's what the do list is all about. That's what the do list is all about. Who are your favorite fighters? And that's my list. It's easy. Number 1, Khamzat Chimaev. The guy is just 12-0. He's young in the game, but he's already a veteran. He's the best in the world. He's a future 3-belt champion, in my opinion. They've been trying to hold the guy back and not give him the big fights. But he steadily holds his ground. He changed divisions if he has to. He finishes people in his first 4 fights. Think about this now. You're locked in a cage with another human being, and you're both going to start throwing punches and kicks and tie-ups. And you're going to have him on the ground and punch on the net, whatever it is. In his first 4 fights, he was only punched 1 time, and that was just a little jab as the other guy was getting rocked. In first 4 fights, he had 1 punch landed on him. Domination. Struggled with 1 fight against Gilbert Burns, but he completely dominated most of his opponents. That's the case for Khamzat Chimaev, because now, number 2 is John Jones. You're going to be saying, "Chris, how can John Jones not be your number 1? I just explained it. But you got to have John Jones at number 2 in this case, which is virtually number 1 if there's no Khamzat, because this guy is undefeated more or less. The only loss that he had was a disqualification. So in his 1 disqualification, he dominated his opponent. He just got disqualified for an illegal blow. So he's basically never lost. Or, I mean, he should probably be number 1, but Khamzat is number 1. I don't care what anyone says. He's the future of the sport. He's going to dominate everyone. That's how I feel right now. So if you ask me on the street, it's Khamzat, then John Jones. Then you get to number 3, and it's Islam Makhachev, because he's the ruler of the best division in the sport, the lightweight division. My favorite fighter in that division is number 5, Charles Oliveira, whom he beat. And I'll be rooting for Oliveira here on October 21st when they square up in the main event at Abu Dhabi in the rematch. But Makhachev is likely to win that fight. That's just the bottom line. Number 4 in the middle, you got Yuri Prochazka. He's out. He was a light heavyweight champion. He's out due to injury, but he's still the best in the division, along with a few others. So it'll be interesting to see if he's back to full form. Then you have the featherweight champion. This is 145 pounds, right below lightweight. Alexander Volkanovski. He's ruled this division for years now. He went up to lightweight and fought well against Islam Makhachev, but couldn't pull it off. So he probably deserves to be in the top 5, but it's just a rough top 5 right now to get into. Then you got Sean O'Malley, who shocked the world and won the bantamweight strap. Colby Covington and Leon Edwards are at 8 and 10 because they're getting ready to fight for the title of the welterweight division. And Colby, I like to have him at 4 or 5 just because he's one of my favorite guys in the sport. But he's got to win that fight and get the belt. And then to get more respect and to move up closer to 1, he's got to fight Khamzat at some point. And that will be a rough fight for Khamzat to squeeze back to welterweight if he so chooses. And then Israel Adesanya is still 9 because it's not over yet. He lost to Sean Strickland, who's now in the top 20, but, you know, Adesanya's been the guy forever. Now, he could drop out of the top 10 with another loss, but I assume he's going to keep winning, at least for right now. And maybe he fights Khamzat because Dricus du Plessis is going to fight Sean Strickland, more than likely. So that's the top 10. If you're on the street and you say, "Chris Cross, who do you like?" That's the list, the order that I'm giving you as of today. So that's what the do list is all about. It's just my example of my favorite fighters combined with skill, ability level, and all that. There's some guys that could be up in there, but they're just not my favorite fighters. They might be champions, but they're not my favorite fighters. So therefore, they're not higher on the list, and it is what it is. Now, as we march forward, Noche UFC this Saturday night, we got to get into some predictions. We're going to get to the co-main event, which is Kevin Holland versus Jack Della Maddalena. This fight goes down in the welterweight division. 2 great fighters, and Kevin Holland seems to always fight above himself, and that gives him a chance. So let's get to that prediction right now. In the welterweight division in Noche UFC, you got Kevin Holland coming in at 25-9, taking on Jack Della Maddalena, who comes in at 15-2. And this should be a great fight. In fact, Maddalena is the favorite, slightly. Kevin Holland, 4 inches taller, is 6'3". He's 30. Maddalena, 27. Kevin Holland has an 8-inch reach advantage. He fights right-handed. Maddalena can switch it up, both righty and lefty. Maddalena much more active, 7.3 significant strikes per minute to 4.1 for Kevin Holland. But the takedown game leans slightly to Kevin Holland. He lands like 1 takedown over the course of 3 rounds. He also has just a 53% takedown defense. Not that great. In his last fight, no takedowns either way, but he did lead or win the fight by submission over Michael Chiesa. That was an impressive performance. And before that, he took down Santiago Ponzinibbio by KO in the 3rd round. Even more impressive. But he did lose to Stephen Thompson and Khamzat Chimaev, which everyone loses to Khamzat, right? Maddalena, 81% takedown defense. That'll even the battle in the takedown game. This will be a stand-up striking affair. More than likely, Maddalena won his last fight against Hafez by split decision. Before that, he beat Randy Brown by submission and Danny Roberts by KO. He also beat Ramazan Ameev. And I like and respect Jack Della Maddalena. I mean, he's won 15 to 17 fights, but I'm not going against Kevin Holland. This guy is a gamer, man. He shows up, he's ready to go. Other than Khamzat, he went in there and respected him too much and tried to touch gloves with him at the beginning, and that's not what Khamzat is trying to do. So he got taken down and submitted in 2 minutes, but that's why Khamzat's my favorite fighter. And after guys fight Khamzat, they tend to perform pretty well. It just makes them better after the fact. I like Kevin Holland to win this fight. I don't know how. I'm just going to be honest, because normally I stick with the stats. The stats would tell me that Maddalena is much more active, 7.3 significant strikes per minute, and can defend the takedowns. But I don't care. I'm going with Kevin Holland here in the co-main event on sheer heart and really gut instinct. I like him to win and move to 26-9, but it's going to be a battle, likely 2 rounds to 1 unanimous decision, maybe a split decision, but in my opinion, Holland wins here, welterweight division, Noche UFC. Yeah, and as I listen back, it just comes down to skill. Kevin Holland's got the skill to slow down Maddalena. He can speed up if he needs to. He's going to have to weather the storm from Maddalena, though. I'm telling you right now, this guy is no joke, and my prediction could very easily be wrong. But I'm leaning towards Kevin Holland just because I like the guy. He's not on the dude list. And that's why we broke it down earlier, because we're always referring back to it. He's not on the dude list yet because he's got to win, a few more fights in a row and really get back and cranking and getting back in the top 10 of the welterweight division to make me a believer. And then provide me some hope of fighting a top 5 guy and really, winning and getting back up there. That's how you do it. You got to make me a believer. And right now, I'm a believer, but I'm not a total believer. Like, he's going to go in there and beat some of the best in the division. But he's still one of my favorite guys. Make no mistake about it. So, it's real simple. We leave it at that. Now you know how to deal with your man during football season. You know that Kevin Holland is going to win because your boy Chris Cross said so, right? Even though we lost like 140 fights this year, we won like 250, but lost 140 roughly, and then, we win more than we lose. But for now, there's your boy Chris Cross. This is the Community MMA. Have a great day, and God bless. Peace.